Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. I'm Papa Hefe. Welcome back to my channel. It's a little cold and a little rainy this morning, so I've got to run to the store, but I thought this is probably a good idea for me to take the Madre Mobile. Oh. Son of a bitch. Alright, so full disclosure, yeah, I already knew that the car had a flat tire. I mean, I didn't like an hour ago, but then I was getting ready to make my morning coffee, and I happened to look out the window and was like, hey, that's not how it's supposed to be. And Madre Jefe is gonna need to take the car to work in a little while, and she's still in bed, which means it's up to me to get on my bike in the cold and in the rain while school buses are picking up children to go across town to Walmart to pick up a foot pump to come back and stand in the cold rain and use my feet to pump up that stupid tire. Oh, happy day. And since I'm in such a wonderful, wonderful mood right now, oh, there comes more rain, I thought I would use this as an opportunity to tackle a nice, contentious topic that's gotten a lot of people just biting at each other's throats. Because popcorn's delicious, and I love watching people eviscerate each other in comment sections on the internet. So yeah, what I want to talk about today is a meme, and not just any meme, but a meme that comes at the expense of somebody else who's been making memes at the expense of somebody else. Ha ha ha! It's beautiful. Okay, so the second party hasn't actually been making memes. They've just been making jokes for a long time. We'll get to that in just a second. So what is the meme? Well, if you're on the internet at all lately, you've already seen it. Okay, boomer. Now, I absolutely love OK Boomer. And not for the reason that some people love OK Boomer. I don't see it as mean-spirited at all. At its absolute worst, it's vaguely dismissive, but the people who get the most burned up over it think that being vaguely dismissive is insulting. These are people who have not looked too hard into the definition of the word irony. Now, the ire directed at this meme didn't really come about organically. It all came about because one 60-something-year-old guy decided that he was fed up with being dismissed with a hand wave and an okay boomer, and had the unfathomable lack of self-awareness to go on the internet and make the claim that boomer is the new N-word. Yeah, just chew on that. This middle-aged, upper-class white guy says that people calling him by a term that his own generation has called themselves by for a generation, well, that's the new N-word. Oh my God. Nope. And of course, he was appropriately just eviscerated on Twitter. And how do I know that this guy was eviscerated on Twitter? I mean, I have a Twitter, but I'm not exactly active there. Well, I know it because it didn't just end on Twitter. It spread to Facebook and Reddit and Tumblr and 4chan and all of the little dark corners of the internet where the millennials love to gather and talk horrible things about other people and about each other and about ourselves. There's the thing, ourselves. I'm lumping myself into this, and I'll tell you why. Because people have a tendency to hear the word millennial and they think teenagers. Millennials aren't teenagers anymore, guys. You know, the millennial generation starts with people born around 1980 and ends around 1996. That means elder millennials, like myself, we're approaching 40. These aren't hapless kids who refuse to move out of their parents' houses. A lot of us are homeowners. Between me and my wife, we've got 4 kids, and we're responsible for them. And oh, you know where I met my wife? In the Army. That's right, because that's another thing that our generation actually did. This is a generation that the baby boomers have spent 30 years calling lazy, worthless, entitled, delicate snowflakes who want everything handed to them. Now, if we were to presume those things as true, then it would only logically follow that those were a byproduct of how that generation was raised by the baby boomers.
Much later.
Alright, so I came up to Walmart to buy a foot pump to air up that tire, and of course, since it's not summer anymore, they don't have foot pumps because all the stuff that they usually sell foot pumps for is stuff that they're not carrying right now. So what I have to get? I had to get one of these tall boy pumps. But of course, how the hell am I going to fit that in my bag? Well, I had to exercise a little bit of ingenuity. So what I did here was I cut one of the zip ties that was holding this tube off, and I just snipped off the end there, pushed it through, and looped this through, and now that's holding these guys closed. And that's what's going to keep this thing in place while I ride across town in the rain. And that whole exercise of coming up with the answer to that problem and coming up with a solution kind of brings me back to the whole point of this perception that generation, that being baby boomers, seem to have of my generation, that being millennials. And I know that there are people in my more specific age range, that like 36 to 40 group, who are like, well, we grew up raised a different way from the true millennials, so we're really a separate micro generation between Generation X and Millennial. We call ourselves Xennials. And no, that's playing into those stereotypes, because it's dumb and narcissistic, and creating a separate generation for yourself and a few people who were born between, in a 2-year span. That is kind of the ultimate special snowflake move. And here's the thing, you're not special. Nobody's special. Mr. Rogers is dead. That generation spent 30 damn years talking and whining about how millennials are useless, weak, effeminate, delicate, scared, special little snowflakes who feel entitled to everything and can't handle the first little bit of joking. And after that 30 years, millennials turned around and for 2 weeks have been saying, okay, boomer. Not in a mean-spirited way, just to be dismissive. Just, whatever. You've been saying this for 30 years. I'm used to it. I'm not getting salty about it anymore. Okay, boomer. And these people have been losing their ever-loving minds. And it's not like, oh, this is totally a magnified thing because people are showing you this. No, I'm directly interacting with these people who are going bananas in fury that we have the audacity To what? To be every bit as dismissive of you as you've been of us? If we're the ones who are entitled, then why are you the ones who are freaking the hell out when we're not just handing you deference? It's not respect that you really want. You might say respect, but it's deference that you're expecting. You lose your mind like I'm depriving you of something that you earned. You didn't earn anything. Now, when these people get deflected on these points, then they turn around and they say, oh, well, don't forget, this is the generation that snorted condoms and ate Tide Pods. All right, Uncle Frank, well, here's the thing. One, that was a few isolated instances that were blown up and spoon-fed to you in the form of that delicious outrage that you love so much. Two, that wasn't millennials. That was Gen Z. You know, the actual teenagers that you seem to still think millennials are because your memory's starting to slip. Three, your generation huffed spray paint and drank Robitussin and put linoleum over hardwood floors. I'd be a little more careful throwing stones in that glass house of yours. Now, the ultimate irony of ironies is that this generation is characterized historically by the things that they did in their youth. And the things that they did in their youth were, they did copious amounts of drugs. They coined phrases like, never trust anyone over 30. They said, tune out of society, man. These are people who literally grew up to be their grandparents. These are people who got mad when they were told in the 70s, go get a damn haircut and a job, who will now unironically turn around and tell somebody, go get a damn haircut and a job. I can't fathom being that oblivious, that total lack of self-awareness. None of this should come as any surprise though, really. These conflicts are as old as humanity. They've been around as long as humans have been procreating to give birth to the next generation of miscreants that they're not going to be able to stand because their ways are new and different. This is stuff that Socrates complained about. He gave an entire dialogue about how the up-and-coming youth were disrespectful and lazy and would generally amount to nothing except for the downfall of their society. And if Socrates, the father of philosophy, were here today so that we could talk about these things, and he were able to look at my generation, he would probably raise those same points, those same concerns. And I'd have to look at Socrates, the father of philosophy, and say, okay, boomer. Now, circumstances notwithstanding, I know it's cold and it's rainy, but honestly, it's a beautiful day. It's been much warmer than it's been lately, and I'm really glad that you guys were able to come along with me. This is a thing that I've had on my mind for a while, and I've wanted to discuss it. If you have any input on the subject, why don't you hit me up in the comments down below, and we'll talk about it. Does it bother you? Do you think it's stupid? Are you indifferent to it? Have you not been exposed to this controversy at all? Maybe you are a boomer. I'd love to get the opinion of someone who's on that side of the issue. Hey Mom, are you actually subscribed to my channel like you said you would be? That would be fantastic. Yeah, I'm gonna go inside, I'm gonna warm up, make some coffee, and then I'm gonna get to work on this car. You guys stay shiny side up out there. I'm Papa Hefe, you've been fantastic. Peace.